Good. Okay, we're going to begin our Treasure Chest Committee meeting of March 10th, 2022. And the first thing we want to do is make sure we have a quorum. And we have 4 members present on a 7-member committee, so that constitutes a quorum.
Based on my math, it does.
Based on my math, it's my understanding. So we have a quorum. Let's see. Ellie, Ben, Cindy, Eric. Excellent. Okay, we're going to move on to our second agenda item, which is old business. And first under that is to accept the Treasure Chest Committee meeting minutes of February 17th, 2022. And I've prepared those and provided you with a draft. You can take a moment or two to take a look at these, and have any changes, let me know. Take your time. Good enough for everybody here?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Great. Can I have a motion then to accept the meeting minutes for February 17th, 2022?
A motion that we accept
Okay.
the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second?
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay, we're going to move on to our next agenda item, which is, well, an update from Rini on the cost of the booth shelter for the Treasure Chest volunteers checking stickers at the entrance gate. And since Rini is traveling, what I'd like to do is table this item till our next meeting. Okay. Can I have a motion to do that?
Motion that we.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Great, all's in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Ben.
Okay, we're going to move on to our new business, and first discussion item under new business is a discussion of the Treasure Chest facility walkthrough. And each of us was there on Friday. Or no, that was the Monday, the 28th.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, it snowed
right.
on Friday, yeah.
Yeah. It was illuminating, you know. I really got an opportunity to see what was going on.
I was thrilled everything was still there. It's in pieces, but it's still there.
Yeah.
Everything.
No, and that was good. I mean, when we went and we opened up the 2 blue trailers, storage trailers.
I was amazed at what they fit in those trailers.
I know.
That's great.
We opened up both of the sheds,
Yeah,
and we looked inside.
yeah.
So we basically had all the apparatus that was there that we would store items
There's
on.
nothing missing.
Yeah.
Well, or push shelves,
Everything was
including
there.
outdoor tables, which I thought were gone. What, they can't hide those in the trailer?
So it wouldn't be that we would be needing any of that. It would be more of, it's there and,
Just
how do we get it
maybe-
reassembled?
Yeah.
That was the difficult.
Maybe seeing Lincoln had it all torn apart, maybe his men can help us put them back together again. Just the outdoor tables, 'cause they're literally in pieces now.
Uh-huh.
And I can't see a bunch of 80-year-old ladies swinging a hammer to put them back together.
Yeah,
I don't know if we can ask that, but.
well, I think if we get the go-ahead from the selectmen, then I think we'll,
Or maybe we could put it out, volunteers to help us put things
Yeah.
back together.
or maybe even the community, I'm not quite sure. But everything was there, so that was,
That's a plus.
that was really a savings grace. And I'm assuming that Link's folks disassembled it.
I'm assuming
Yeah.
they wanted
Yeah,
it.
that they want, so I think we could probably find a way to put it back together if we were given the green
It's
light.
just the outdoor tables I'm worried about.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can figure out the.
And not everything has to be done
shelving.
all at once either.
No,
It's,
just near the bare, need the bare bones to get it
yeah.
going.
We talked a little bit about, where we might want to keep things on the inside, but like you say, keep
The
keep
counter.
where the counter was for the women.
Rearrange the
Yeah,
other aisles.
it makes sense. And then, yeah,
That's a good idea.
just arrange the inside so that we can look down the aisles. And then it's just a matter of, putting the apparatus back up, the shelves.
Just opening the gates and say, come on in.
Yeah.
Although I'll tell you, those gates were mighty rusty. And those
Well-
locks you had a difficult time yourself trying to
Yes.
get that key out of that lock, yeah.
Well, can locks be changed?
Oh, yeah, that could be, and they can just be
It's
clean
always
too.
W40 too.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, I have some.
2 years of rust on those.
Hey, key stuff, so.
That's all it needs.
But no, that was,
Yeah, we used to have to do that once or twice a year, oil those locks so the keys would work.
Mm-hmm.
I was pleasantly surprised. Everything was there. Right down to the metal table.
Yes, everything.
I know,
Even our counter was still all together. We just gotta move it.
yeah, so, no, that was good. So, we really didn't deliberate anything. We just went and saw and we looked.
Right.
Um,
Good.
But it was extremely helpful.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, it sounds
Now we
like
know
it.
where we
Good.
stand. It's great.
So, if we get the green light, then we're really going to have to think about what we need to do to move forward and go forward. And, maybe at that point, maybe even I'd have Bim reach out to Link and, if we had a date in mind, what we needed to do to that facility to get us to that point in time. I mean, right now, they had the 3 large vehicles in there that were being stored, winter storage. I'm not sure where those go in the summertime.
Where did they go?
Not our
Where
way.
I
did
don't
they
know,
go in the
but,
last 20 years?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know when the building could be made available to us so we could start setting it up.
Well, those
But
street
it-
sweepers ought to be going any time now. It's spring.
But again, you have to, we need to
We need to do step
get an
one.
approval from the
Yeah.
selectmen,
Yeah.
And
to-
then we'll do
and then
step
I
two.
think the focus would be on, putting it back together again. And making, but again,
Well, even if we can't get the trucks out right away, we could start by trying to put the tables outside
Yeah.
together.
there are lots
We
of
can
things.
work around.
Oh, yeah, there are lots of things we can do. We have a lot to work with.
We do.
So, no, that was definitely a bright spot. So I think we're fortunate in that regard. So, okay, I'm going to leave that at that. And we realize that we're going to have some serious work to do, if we get the thumbs up. So, okay. Okay, we're going to move on to our second item under new business, which is the treasure chest operational plan / guidelines and the next step. So we met with the selectmen that Monday evening, and I think the only thing that clearly the selectmen would like us to adhere to the guidelines as they were in 2018, where, volunteers, were not to take items during their shift and, could select a few items at the end of their shift. Message was received loud and clear. Try
No
to,
problem.
yep, try to explain how it was beforehand, and wanted to be truthful with them. And, it's always the most important thing. And they were,
They did
Clearly-
refer to an old document.
Yeah.
That I think,
1996, you said?
1996. And so it starts a pendulum swinging, because the 1996 document says nothing should be taken,
That's never been the
It
case.
says, members of the committee are not allowed to remove donated items from the recycling center, they call it recycling center, or put aside donated items during hours which they serve as volunteer. That's what it said in 1996, and it was cited during the meeting.
Right.
So that's one end of the pendulum. I think another end is the 2018 document, which says volunteers shall use discretion in taking a limited number of donated items. So we got from there to there.
Mhm.
We have to come back somewhere.
I think you should just go back to, if you're working there for the 3 hours, you're not allowed to take anything. If you want something, you take it at the end of your shift, you come back the next day, you come a day you're not working. I mean, is it gonna kill you not to take something for 3 hours?
No.
It is. I mean, I think that
Okay?
it has killed
Well,
people.
From what I got from that meeting from the selectmen, if you're volunteering, you're a volunteer, you shouldn't expect it. I'm just saying from their point of view,
Mhm.
that's what came through loud and clear to
Very
me.
much so, very
Okay?
much so.
That you're a volunteer, you shouldn't expect anything in
No,
return.
you're doing this to
No.
I mean,
serve
that's
your
not what
community.
volunteering is about.
Right.
So, I know how it was, I know it got way out of hand for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You got rid of the other towns, it got much better. You got rid of some of the volunteers, it got even better.
Mm-hmm.
I just think, we wanna get this open, and if that's gonna be a stickling point, let's
Do-
just agree to that.
Do
I
we
mean,
need, well, I don't know, do we need to put teeth into,
we might
Well, we
to
have
for at
teeth.
least
I mean, if,
what are the
if,
teeth, though?
okay, so the teeth is if somebody isn't abiding by the guidelines, you bring it up, you can bring it up to the shift supervisor, or the shift supervisor is supposed to recognize it and bring it forward to the committee. I mean, if the committee makes a determination that there's a real issue, they bring that up to Link. And Link has the power to let volunteers go.
So
I mean, he let go of Debbie, who used to run the treasure chest. I mean, we let go of Karen. We've let go of a few people that way. And that has worked out very
So should that
well.
wording go into the guidelines, the consequences?
Well, yeah, I think you
Yeah.
raise a good point, enforcement. I'm wondering, part of your, and I agree, I think, and what the selectmen reacting to, it's gotten better. For a couple of years, it seemed like I get phone calls like every other day about, volunteers abusing the system and
Correct.
and taking things before people were looking for an item. So I don't know, but I agree, it should go, I think the very least you should do it only at the end of the shift. Maybe something like that would work, but not, throughout the
That's
shift.
how we were doing it.
Because
Apparently
My-
not, though.
no, I think it's enforcement. I wonder if rather, you've agreed to meet more often than in the past. You agreed to meet monthly
Uh-huh,
during that meeting.
right.
I wondered if it might make sense to have items like this and come back to your committee first and then go to Link. To you guys first, so you're,
So an offender is.
well, you guys make the decision and then take it to Link, but, as a committee action so that so what we're telling everyone is that you guys are really doing your job and
Right.
keeping track of things.
So to make that, to show our goodwill, should we say
You-
offenders will be,
You could say that the committee is responsible for enforcing the,
Yep, and that's
Does
what
that
it is.
sound-
Committee is responsible for enforcing
and then your
the
step is to
guidelines.
take it over to Link next if you agree to that. But I want to be sure your committee has the teeth to do it,
yeah.
you know.
Do we- Do you feel like we had, I mean,
Well, you do in the sense,
I
you can
feel
take
like
it to
there's a
link.
few out of control, that I don't know if we'll be able to control them.
so, yeah, that's.
Well, at that point, then you still have to link and dismiss them, and we can ask
Well,
them to
the
go
other thing was,
away.
I thought we were gonna have a, for the volunteers, we were gonna have copies made of the etiquette and all that, and they were gonna
Well, they're
sign
supposed
it-
to sign off
Sign it and read off
i-
on it.
on the
That in
acknowledgement,
itself,
yeah.
Acknowledging it, they signed off on it, you volunteered, this is what expected.
Mhm.
If you don't do this, then you expect consequences.
Right,
And I remember in the past, you know, what happened was, okay, your first offense, you might have lost a week or two or maybe even 3 in your ability to volunteer. And then if it happened again, it was basically you lost your privilege to
Exactly.
volunteer.
so the committee is responsible for implementing consequences?
Yeah, we can actually recommend dismissal, or we can recommend to link that somebody lose their privilege to volunteer for a certain period of time. And we've done both in the past.
Oh, I know. And I think we got to stop saying, and this is what we've done in the past. This is what we're going to do in the future. We have to look
Yeah,
forward.
well, I think that was an effective approach. I think the only thing that maybe wasn't effective about it was the timeliness. If we're only meeting quarterly or whatever, and somebody's being offensive, you know, it's taken
Gotta
a
wait
while to
3 months
get
to-
back to the committee.
And they forgot they did it.
Yeah.
Well,
Right.
Yeah,
But if we're meeting monthly, it would
I think if we're
only-
meeting monthly, every
Yeah.
committee,
Mhm.
it seems to me that the sequence would be, you have your, well, not staff managers, but the
Shift supervisor.
shift supervisors. I think the sequence, if there's a problem, they'd bring it to you guys, and you would either meet, you could make a decision what the next action is. You could talk to them directly, and you can take them to Lincoln, you know, you have options. So I think it's mainly I think it's a simple statement. The committee will enforce the guidelines. And the enforcement
You think
is,
that will make them happy?
well, I think
What they
so.
expect.
It's what they,
But it will be the same wording. It will still say,
at the end of the shift,
Yeah, I was kind of
'Cause
curious
I
as
think
to
that I
why
know-
they wanted it redone anyways. I didn't quite understand, you know, what the big change was gonna be.
Well, I think,
it's
Other-
too broad.
you know, I think that once we just indicate that, you know, volunteers can't take items during their shift, I think once they omit that, everything else is there. So I'm hoping that when we meet with them again, they'll say, okay, we want this to read this, and, you know, and let us know. Because I think everything is there. It's just for them to say, hey, I don't like this. And we heard that loud and
We should go back to
clear.
that wording from 1996,
Right.
and that should be,
Well, why don't we use their last wording from 2018?
Because it's not.
that's not what they wanted. That's what they objected to.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
no. I thought that the 2018 said that volunteers weren't able to take items during their shift and only could take a limited
your-
number during the end of their
Well,
shift.
your most recent
But I have to
document said it was
emphasize-
left to their discretion. So there's a middle one then. That was that was part of the problem. We had 3 different documents.
Yeah.
We had one that's nothing and one they could do it
Yeah.
at their discretion.
Pendulum. It's like, yeah.
So I think just forget all that. Just write a new statement that says they can take it, if this is what you want, they can't set things aside. They can take something at, you know, the end of the shift if it's there. And your committee.
Just
will-
like any other Harwich resident would. I mean, once they finish their shift, and if they're still there, they should be able to shop like any other
Because you're
resident who
longer
comes to the treasure
volunteering.
chest. You know, they're,
There is a customer.
Yeah. So I don't think you need to spend a lot of time with this. Just make that statement.
so what does the one from 96 say? It doesn't say anything about the end of the shift, right?
Well, it says during the hours that they serve as a volunteer. So
Right,
the
I
word
mean,
shift.
that's pretty simple. If
Yeah.
you're
So
not
get
serving
rid-
and if
as
you're
a
not,
volunteer,
yeah.
So
then
get
you
rid
And you're
of
like
the
any
shift.
other Harwich resident who has the ability to shop.
I mean, that's pretty simple and
Okay.
straightforward.
So number 11, so we're going to replace the wording on number 11 for the guidelines with So right now, it reads, volunteers shall use discretion in taking a limited number of donated items and shall do so only at the end of their shift. I'm changing that to, members of the committee are not allowed to remove donated items well,
It can't be committee, it needs
Gotta
to,
be
yeah,
volunteers.
it's gotta be volunteers.
members of the, okay. Yeah, you're right. So volunteers are not allowed to remove donated items or put aside donated items during hours when they are serving as a volunteer. So we have the word volunteer twice, so,
Well, you could say during their,
in the shift.
shift. If I may, I might make that positive and say, rather than not, they're only allowed to take.
You want to go back to that?
Well, no, I'm just saying you can turn it from a negative to a positive. Say they're not allowed to take, you could turn that around and say they're allowed to take something at the end of their shift. Just a minor point.
Yeah, that's what 2018 makes
Okay.
it positive.
Okay,
And
go with that. I'm fine with it.
Ellie, and you're gonna give me that language?
I will,
when-
yes,
Yeah,
yeah,
well,
yeah, I won't,
okay.
but I'm,
Just as long as it's simple and direct,
Okay.
I'm fine with it.
And actually, I think that might make the volunteers, say, okay, I can't take anything during my shift, but
I'm worried about Bella, Nancy, Sheila,
I know.
those things.
Well, I gotta think that some of those folks may just decide that, it's not worthwhile for them to volunteer under that construct, and they'll find other things to do. But if that's the case, we'll just bring in other volunteers who can abide by the revised guidelines.
so in making this simple, should we also say the committee is responsible for implementing, oh no, by monthly
Enforcing.
meetings, maybe by monthly meetings, the committee will
Well,
enforce.
you've already said you're gonna have monthly meetings. I would just say the committee is responsible for enforcing the,
Okay, and if they ask me, because I have to go before the board again.
you do, yeah,
Yeah,
you do.
if they're gonna ask me, how are you gonna do that, I said, by
Right,
our
well,
monthly meetings.
You'll say it'll come to your committee to make to follow up and ultimately to link if it's needed to take action on the volunteers. That's the
Okay.
process you're using now, right?
Right,
Yeah.
and it
So-
was just poorly spaced out. I mean, it was,
Well, I think the only thing there is if we meet more frequently, we'll have a better ability to more quickly address issues like that when they arise.
yeah. Okay, so, we have to vote on whether or not we're gonna do this. So I wanna make sure the wording is something we can feel good about,
Mhm.
okay? So it will go, I want to give it, well.
Oh, yeah, go
you
ahead,
got
read it.
Okay, volunteers are not allowed to remove donated items or put aside donated items during their shift.
Correct.
And that'll be, and then if the board says, how are you going to do that? I'll say by our regular meetings,
Right, just,
which will follow through.
yeah, just say that the committee will enforce that.
Okay. That should take
I think,
care of it.
I
I mean,
thought that was the only,
I think so, because when I look at it, my vision for the next selectmen's meeting is very short.
yes.
Because you gave them a ton of material, went
Mhm.
through a little of it. As far as I could tell, there were 2 points they really questioned. This one, and the length of do you want to have year-round or seasonal. And for me, so that's the second one that needs to be addressed. And I know Michael said he wasn't going to support year-round.
No, he wasn't.
But I don't think that's a tough stance for him to take if Link is okay with it.
Really?
So I think the
And Link
key,
seems to be okay with
I
it.
think the key there is, and I don't know, Ellie, if anyone had a chance to confirm with Link that he was okay or actually didn't want it part-time.
He'd rather it be.
Yeah. We need to firm that up so that Link's on board, and whatever, if Link says he could use it, that was our initial offer, remember, to split?
So who wants to touch base with Link?
Will you, yeah.
All right.
He needs to confirm that, and if he can use it, we offered it to him before, right? Your committee did. I'd offer it to him again, say, okay, you sure, we're willing to
Right,
work
and the last
part-time.
conversation that I had with him, he said, if you want to do it year-round, do it year-round.
Yeah, let's confirm that, because,
Unless he's changed his
It-
tune.
right, if that's true, then I think he's the ultimate authority or responsible person for that. If he says he's not going to use it, even if we don't, well, then that becomes a mute point to me.
Mm, Right, okay,
So
so,
I'll check with him.
thank you.
And then because for me, I think that's the only 2 points.
That was what
Well, and
I,
there is a third point, but as Ellie, you and I talked, that's, your committee recommended a sticker fee.
right,
Mm-hmm.
I bring that up again, but quite frankly, that's not your decision. Like, the board has to make
right.
we actually do have power there we set the fees in town. So that's gonna be a simple discussion. Your committee discuss it, vote on it,
And it's theirs to,
Who set
And-
the price?
and then they can, take your recommendation or not. So I don't think that's part of, you have to worry to.
and I don't think it needs to be brought up again.
I'd bring it up at the meeting, because we need to vote on it. If we say we're gonna go ahead, the board has to make a decision on that. Because we're getting, it's gonna be April, we wanna get stickers printed. I think you need to bring it up. I just don't think
Okay.
that basically is informing the board of what
That we're in support of having.
you're in
a
support of
sticker
that.
That's a good way to put it.
And
yeah.
then it's the board's decision now, what they want to do with it.
So what ends if we did like one sheet, PowerPoint, where we had these 3 items, and we're like, the first one is like, okay, we're going to replace the wording for guideline 11 with the new wording. That would be number 1. So that's clarified. The second one would be something, we've spoken to Link, that you've spoken to Link, and, Link is on board or not on board with seasonal or year-round. That way we can confirm and let the selectmen know we spoke to Link, and we will have his decision of what he's comfortable with on that. And the last one would be, their decision on the sticker fee. It's those 3 items.
Is that good?
And maybe if we just put that up,
I think that's very good. My only disagreement would be, I'm not sure with 3 points you need a PowerPoint. I think you put that as an email for the packet, maybe,
okay, that's,
and then you can speak to it.
Right, and they will have,
And we'll have the language in front of us, and it'll be in the packet, so if you get that to me. I think 3 points, we don't need to go through,
right,
yeah, I want to keep it simple for them, and have it right up front, so it's
You-
focused,
you
and
can put it in the packet so that they can read it, be in front of them, and you can read it.
mm-hmm,
that'll be easy enough to
Right.
get to them by the 20, we just have to have it in their packet for the 21st. 'Cause I
Yeah.
believe their next meeting is
Yeah.
March
today's the
21st.
10th.
Yeah, so you get it into Ellen by the Wednesday before the 21st, whatever date that is.
So that'll be the
17th,
16th.
by the 15th.
Yeah,
16th, by the 16th.
Which is next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, get it into her,
Mm-hmm.
and I can scan it if you wish to look at it as well and get it in.
What?
I can, if you give it to me, I'll be sure it gets included in the packet. I'll ask to be put on the agenda.
Great, yeah, that's easy enough for you and I
Yep,
to work
You guys can
on.
work on that, and I
I'll
think,
try and get a hold of Link tomorrow, but I have next, Monday too.
oh,
if
we've
can.
plenty of
'cause I
time.
think those were the only points really that were
Yeah.
Challenged.
challenged or debated or discussed, and,
Right.
And I will be the only one that will speak.
yeah,
I'll get up,
yeah.
do it, I'll,
So-
Make it
Thank
You
simple.
do such a good job
Thank
at
them.
it.
Yeah. And I don't want to
You
go
did do a
back,
good job at
and I
it.
don't want to go back into history this time,
No.
because I want
It doesn't-
to be
No,
defensive.
history doesn't help anything.
Just, they got more information than we get in any other committee you guys have gotten.
yeah. No, we're sincere about
There's no
this.
questions unanswered at the moment.
I guess, no.
No, we are sincere though, and I think we're trying to do the best we can.
Oh, I think so. I'm anxious.
If we
I
get
don't know about
that,
you guys, but I'm
if it was
getting,
before on the 21st, then we would have another meeting, or would you vote then?
Well, I'm gonna put it on the agenda. Our standard language is discuss and vote to open the treasure chest. So I'm gonna make this, I can't tell what the whole board's gonna do, but according to meeting regulations, no meeting law, the agenda has to be specific. So I'm gonna put specific language in there to say that to vote. I'm not gonna get stuck in saying discussion,
Because if
then
we clear up those three things,
they can
Oh,
vote
we
on
need
it.
to do
Yeah.
that
they
tonight.
should be able to
Yeah.
vote on it.
Yeah.
It
correct?
should be.
Hopefully.
Because it's getting, I mean, now we're talking April 1st pretty soon.
Yeah.
And we would, and then we would amend what we had provided them, and that would become the final. They would,
You raise it, not to complicate things, you raise an interesting point though. As part of the agenda item, what would you think about saying the vote to open by May 1, or May 1?
We were hoping to, yes.
that would be that
I think
Sunday.
I think I need to put a specific date we're shooting for in the agenda.
April what? April 31st? Is that Saturday?
Saturday's the 30th.
Okay,
Sunday's
Saturday's,
the 1st.
okay.
Is
April 30th?
Is April 30th?
Well,
Yeah, I mean, you'd want to start it on a Saturday.
Go on,
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all right.
just occurred to me, I need to put a date in there, otherwise it'll be,
Okay.
In,
Oh, and one other thing that we didn't put in, nowhere do we let folks know how long they can stay and shop. Did we put a half hour in the
I didn't
guidelines?
see it anywhere in any of the stuff
I think
either.
we kind of let it go by the wayside.
There's like a
when it went to
sign.
we
Harwich
did that for a
Zone.
while when people
But,
were.
yeah, but even at the end when I was going there, I could hear, people would come out and say, you've been here your 30 minutes are up.
Time to go, yeah.
Yeah,
I think there's
I
a
mean-
sign
I mean, there are two ways we
somewhere.
could do it. There was a sign there, so we could say, the
Please
time
observe.
posted is the time you're allowed to shop, or we could put a time and make it part of the guidelines.
Well,
Let's
I
not,
remember when that was a problem, when people would park there all day because they were trying to collect things to resell.
right.
Hadn't that kind of gone away though?
That's
Or
kind of
people,
going away, yeah.
Yeah.
for me, I think you need to think about that, but I don't want to introduce that at the.
no,
at the-
let's leave that.
Okay. Nope, then we'll leave it, but, and I
Not
think what
leave-
we'll do is just leave it to half that we've always had it, and people abide by the
And
half
then one of our
hour.
meetings, we
Yeah.
may
And the
need
people
to,
that go know that.
If
The
that,
regulars
yeah.
that go
Yeah.
there, they already know that.
if that happens to come up as a question, you can answer it, well, we didn't, it wasn't, but we're gonna follow those previous guys, but I wouldn't bring it up.
no.
So we
It's-
have to
wouldn't
make
even-
all new metal signs.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Well, thank you, Larry. I think this is really.
Yeah, no, that is very helpful.
Um,
You and I can put that together.
Yeah, but,
You'll talk to Link.
I just want this to go. I can't tell you how many people grab me and say, when does treasure chest open?
Oh.
Everywhere I go.
Yeah.
And I keep saying, we're working on it, we're working on it.
That's like me saying, optimistic, come on, leave me alone.
But it does take work.
Yeah, it does.
Being a new member on a committee, you see what it takes.
I mean, I think some members, I think, were thinking that when the committee met last
Yeah.
time, they were gonna have a vote, and I go, they're not gonna vote. I
No.
mean, I already knew that that wasn't gonna
Well,
vote.
we didn't put it on the agenda even to
Yeah.
vote that time.
Exactly.
I knew we
go,
wanted
It's not gonna
to.
happen,
And
but that's why, if we clear
I
up
thought we were
these
good.
things, it should be able to go forward.
Yes.
And I truly appreciate the time and the effort, and, I have the utmost respect for the selectmen and the decision they make, They'll make the decision that's best for the town. And we're just doing what we can to, put our position that the treasure chest should open and.
Now, are we
keep my
addressing
fingers crossed.
year-round, or are we addressing that?
That's one of the
We
three.
wanted to do year
know.
round. We said we're,
McManus,
so
is that his name?
if
He
Link,
kind of- So
is good with that.
Right, is just convincing him?
Who?
Michael McCaskill was one that was
McCaskill.
very,
Yeah.
very much against doing year round.
Yeah, I wonder how
But-
come.
Well, I can't read into that, whether he'd have some thoughts on where Link was coming from before. Some of it may be that
So if one of
the DPW has a capital budget item to build a new maintenance building in, I think, 3 or 4 years, which is sizable money. And we're all, with inflation and everything going on, we're all worried about budgets. In fact, that's our 6 o'clock meeting, is going through the budgets.
Oh.
I don't know how we're going to balance the budget when we get everything in there. And so, yeah, I can't read into Michael's, what his thinking is entirely, but part of it is if allowing the link to use that building part-time would delay having to build a new building.
So
Maybe that's
if
what
there's
it's
no
like.
problem-
And I respect that. I really
So
do
if there's
respect
no
that.
problem-
That's right, it's a good position to be in.
Yeah.
But that's why we need Link, is he actually, would he use that? And be sure Link can understand, if we do that, does that provide valuable use for him to relieve some tension? So we're,
Right.
because we can easily, I mean, for me personally, I'd be very comfortable if we go 6 months, because I have enough basement room to store up for 6 months. I can't do it for 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, that's me
And
personally.
we were fine
me
either way,
personally.
year round
Right,
or,
right.
I mean, I think when we first started our meetings, we were like, we can do this seasonally. So, we were starting with that premise in mind and then switched back to year round. But if it turns out to be, seasonal would work better for the town, that's fine. We can do a seasonal
If he-
operation.
Present it to Link that way,
Are we
it's
gonna
still
have
up to
to
him.
tear
We
Yeah,
can-
exactly.
'cause,
Maybe not
if we can help
us.
him out on that, as I say,
He wants it.
It's, but I do, with money, capital improvements, building, it's extremely expensive. And Mike's point was well taken by me when, it's like, we have this building and to build another, yeah, I can see, that's,
but, again, it's in Link's court
Important.
right now. If he comes back and says, it doesn't matter, it's not gonna suffice, it's not gonna help.
So we'll see what he says.
that's what he says.
Great.
All right, so we need to vote on
Um,
the rewording of
So,
item
yes.
number.
Well, you let us know what the rewording was going to be for number 1, the replacement of number 11 of the
Right.
guidelines. You've mentioned that. You know,
Do we vote
Bim's
on
going to
that
talk
item,
to
or do
Link,
we
and,
just
and
keep
then we'll
going?
be able to, write the result of whatever that, or some sort of synopsis or conclusion on that. That we still recommend the sticker fee, and those were the 3.
Right.
Right.
And we'll put those in the email, and we'll get it in to the selectmen's packet, and it's got to be in before the 16th.
Yep.
That's it?
And that's
But
it.
That won't take long, we're not doing a lot.
No.
All the work, you've done all the work before.
I'm just wondering, do we need to vote on it?
No.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
No. So you're going to be at the selectmen's meeting.
Yep.
Good luck.
Bim, I think you should, I may not be there, so I think you should go.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, I was told not to go last time, that they didn't.
Well, I
want
got
me to
a,
go.
well, that was the information I got, was they were trying to be,
That's
but-
the only reason I didn't go.
but I would go just, I know that we're getting really busy right now, so we've had people tend to, as you know.
And I told
limited
them,
Discussions, and so, but yeah, come on, no problem.
All right.
I told them the buck stops with Bim.
Well,
It's like,
we'll see.
I'd like them to see your face.
yeah. All right.
Good, thank you. And I
It all
think
sounds
Maureen
good.
might want to come. I mean, she's very,
As long as you have 3 or less, but I know that Heather will
Well, you
want
can have
it.
all you want if you're not gonna talk.
We just can't deliberate.
Right.
Right.
You're not gonna, only one that's gonna talk, I wouldn't worry about that. We're not having a meeting, you're just attending. I think
Right.
you'll,
That's
and you can
great.
even sit, I mean, I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. With that said, when do we want to meet again? I mean, the selectmen meet on the 21st. We should meet sometime shortly thereafter. So what's that Thursday following their Monday meeting?
24th.
24. So that's 2 weeks from today.
Okay.
Fine with me. I can do it. I can do it.
Okay?
Can you do that?
I think so. I'll let you know, but
So
you,
that's the 24th?
At 5. So you'll be running and signing us out again. Right.
Yeah.
well, certainly I appreciate all the work you people are
We
putting into
appreciate-
this.
Yeah.
All your help.
Yours been so,
So our next meeting then will be scheduled for
24th at
March.
5.
24.
and should we think about ideas of what we should talk about as we set the next agenda? I mean, I don't want, to be
At
just,
the next
Well, I think
meeting,
it-
you mean?
tonight for the 24th meeting.
So I would
Well,
think
we'll
a
have
big,
the answers
We'll
for
have
the
an answer.
21st.
Yeah.
I think a big one
So
would
I
be
guess that'll be,
to continue to focus on
How to open?
how to open,
Okay.
getting it
Yeah.
open.
Yeah.
Putting it back together.
Yeah.
yeah, And if, you know, they vote.
We're
and say,
almost ready
okay,
to,
Yeah, if they give
we'll
us,
have a lot to talk about.
exactly,
if they
and
vote.
that'll be, I mean, if they say no, it'll be a short meeting.
Well, that's why I was asking,
Yeah.
is it gonna be another meeting after this meeting, or, you know? So, all right,
okay.
let's go for it.
Thank you.
So, so with that said,